Beer comparison. Okay, I need to be honest here. The main reason I'm doing this video is because I need more space in my fridge. But I'm also genuinely interested in these kind of beer comparisons, and I always learn a lot. So today we will compare two styles of the Bock beers. One pale, the Bock, and one dark, the Doppelbock. They are around the same strength. The Dark Doppelbock is just a little bit stronger, 7.1%, and the Bock 6.9%. And it might be too obvious for you, the difference between these two beers, but I usually find surprising differences. For instance, I know this will be more caramelly, maybe syrupy. It might have some figs or dates or raisins, something like that. And the paler one will also taste paler, like white bread, maybe a bit of digested biscuits. But which beer is the most bitter? Which has the most amount of carbonation? Which beer is drier? And so on. So let's start with the paler Bock. It actually doesn't say Bock on the bottle, just Bergbock Hell, which is in a Bock style. Now, I haven't done my research on this one, but I think bag is in the same as in Swedish, berg, which means mountain, and many of the German monasteries are placed on mountains, right? It's bready, almost cookie doughy. You have floral honey, lemon and herbs. It smells really refreshing. Let's open the Doppelbock straight away so we can compare the beers side by side. This one says Doppelbock Dunkel, and Dunkel means dark in German, so it's just a way of clarifying that this is the darker version of the Bock beer. It looks pretty tasty, right? Which one would you choose? Let's sniff the Doppelbock. Yeah, figs, caramel, butterscotch, kind of wet raisin bread, if you know what I mean, dark bread, and also there is some spices in there. So comparing the aromas side by side, the Doppelbock smells a lot more spicy, and the Bock gets some vegetable soup notes. Very strange. But I didn't notice that at the first sniff, just when comparing like this. And the Doppelbock smells more burnt sugar, burnt butterscotch. The Bock is actually from this May, but it should be fine still. So the paler Bock beers usually arrive in May, as the name suggests. At least in Sweden we get these German beers in May. And the darker Doppelbocks, some of them are available year-round, and some of them arrives in late March, early April, which feels a bit strange to me. I think they are perfect in November, early December, maybe also January, February, but in late March it's almost spring. It's like celebrating Christmas in April, But the Germans have some sort of strong beer festival around that time, so late March, early April. So that is the proper, correct time, I guess, for these beers to be released. But I don't know, to me it's just a bit too late somehow. Alright, let's dig in, starting with the Bergbock Hell. Prost, cheers, skål. I remember trying this beers a couple of years ago, and all I got was some sort of soap note, and I don't really find that anymore. I think it's my taste buds that have either evolved or adapted somehow. Now I find it sweet, and that boozy push, which might have been that soapy note, just feels nice. It's almost like, almond paste, marzipan, mixed in with the more biscuity notes. I think that comes from the higher alcohol somehow. Lemon, bitter orange. There is also some stone fruit, apricot. Yeah, I really like this beer. Actually, before digging into the next beer, I want to try something new. This is white fluffy bread. The kind you put in the toaster, but without the crust. That is supposed to neutralize the flavors in your mouth. Just like a professional beer judge, right? But now let's dig into the Doppelbock Dunkel. Prost, cheers, skål. Yeah, this is beautiful. And of course I had it just the other week. If you didn't see that video, I compared 3 different dark Doppelbocks. And this one was by far kind of the sweetest, most syrupy, caramelly, butterscotchy. I also noticed some dark chocolate and coffee now. Bitter orange, herb butter, and you have lovely nuts in there as well. You see what I'm saying? This is perfect for Christmas. So I guess there are 2 different types of bitterness in these beers. I don't know if bitterness can come from the malts, but it feels like the roasted characters contributes with some bitterness, whilst in the Bock the bitterness comes from the hops only. Both beers have low bitterness or medium to low bitterness, and the Bock has more of that kind of lemon seed kind of bitterness, and it's more herbal and less stingy like the American hops, for instance. So I guess you could say they are equally bitter or not bitter, but in different ways. And I think you can say the same thing about the sweetness. In the Doppelbock, the sweetness comes from burnt sugar, butterscotch, and I'm not sure that counts as sweetness. If you compare to a sponge cake, for instance, that you experience as more sweet, and you also have all these burnt notes, so maybe the Bock actually is sweeter. Right now, I don't find a lot of the biscuity notes, actually. More like honey spread out on white bread. So in one way, the Bock is sweeter with its honey and fruity character. I guess you have to decide for yourself what you consider sweet flavors. Anyway, I like both of these beers in different ways. I hope you found it interesting and that you are happy for me that I get more space in my fridge. Which is your favorite Bock beer? Pale or dark? Doesn't matter. Let us know in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and remember, drink responsibly!